sweatshops?
Well, I feel like they're not good because it's just a bunch of people being underpaid to work for barely nothing, and the children sometimes. So not good.
I don't really know how to feel about them because I wasn't put in that experience. I'm thinking like it's not that bad, but also
They're
again,
very
it's probably
wrong, and that they are potentially very damaging to children, and that they should not be in existence.
Based on what I've heard and what I know about sweatshops in other countries, they don't seem like a very good place to work. They seem like they would be a lot of long hours and probably not very good working conditions. I've never seen a sweatshop, never been to a sweatshop, so the only things I know about sweatshops are what I've heard through the media and through other sources. I don't know, I've never met somebody who worked in a sweatshop, so I don't know how they feel about working in one.
Underwage pay. Pretty bad considering if they're going to support a family, they'll need a pretty high payment, and unless they're farmers, they won't be able to buy anything.
they probably do not like it and probably don't understand that they're getting underpaid because they've probably been living through it their whole life.
Well, I think it's probably a little bit different in India just because they have a little different culture, and their cost of living is probably a little bit lower than ours, but I feel that they should get paid wage that correlates to their standard of living.
Anytime that you work for less than you think you're worth, or less than what you consider the value of your work to be, that you would become frustrated and would like to move to a different occupation or different opportunities. But I'm sure that while they're frustrated with that, the fact that they are making something is maybe better for them than making nothing at all.
Lots of companies that would lie about child labor, and I feel like we should all be more aware of which companies they are. But I would think that companies that just care about the bottom line and care about how much money they can get instead of caring about...
Any company that focuses on profits and production and not on the well-being of their workers would be a kind of company that would lie about the people who they have working for them.
Equal pay for everybody, high pays, and
Probably by making things a little easier for everybody, and then like building their economy up and like making sure there's less poverty. So like probably giving out more money and decreasing the housing costs.
Whoever is in leadership right now, we probably need to either help them as much as the U.S. can. But I think it's a trickle-down effect where the people in the high power of the country need to start helping to figure out how they can make things better, and maybe some individuals need to start fighting back more.
Well, obviously, if they can raise the wages of the people who are working in these kind of places, that would be one thing where they could find themselves to have an opportunity to, buy food and clothing. And then I would say also that if the places that they work aren't safe and don't have the opportunity for breaks when they need them, if we're talking about the conditions for children, I would say that every child needs to go to school, every child needs to learn, and if they're forced to work in order to meet the needs of their family, then I would say that the one thing you could do to improve the conditions is that increase the wage for their parents and those adult members living in the household, so that children wouldn't have to work to supplement the income, so that they could just exist or survive and have enough food to eat and a place to live.
I love my clothing products. I'm not even gonna lie.
Quite a few. I would imagine that a lot of my clothing and my household goods probably come from there. And
if I was to guess, it would be maybe kind of those things that have been in the media a lot, which is I think some like shoes, probably lots of clothing items are done in sweatshops. But how many of those things are manufactured for the companies that I buy things from? I don't know.
Proceeding through with it, like you see people that like 5-year-old little working in a workshop, they're walking through like, hey, look, come back, little ching ching, working in the workshop. So like, I think that you can actually enforce it by like putting officials in these sweatshops.
Well, again, I think it has to do with the leadership of their country and what they have in, they can have a law, but then who is actually making sure that the children are of the right age. So I think it has a lot to do with the government.
Well, I think that anytime you want a law to be enforced, you have to have the manpower and the people interested in going out and pursuing the conviction and finding these places where this is going on. I think that one of the main things is that in countries where this kind of things goes on, bribery and paying local politicians and local law enforcement, taking bribes from companies like this is a huge problem. And so one of the main ways that I think that could begin to enforce some of this is to eliminate the bribes that go on, to allow this, because this has to be happening in the plain sight of people, and they have to know that it's happening. And so I think bribery is probably a huge problem.
I feel like they need to be helped.
I mean, I feel horrible. It's just like that's their life. Hopefully, some of them will get through it. All of them won't. They're gonna experience like diseases, lots of injuries in their life, and they might be strong.
It's very sad and it's very heartbreaking. It's almost like
those kind of conditions. It's a very sad thing. I think that again, a lot of it has to do with the kind of people and governments that are controlling these places, and the opportunities that aren't there for people, and I think that their system of government and their system of maybe the obligations of the local businesses. And I also think that here in the United States, that the companies that are using these kind of kids to produce their products, need to have some repercussions for using them and knowing that that's going on.